Imagine for a moment that there is a version of you living in a parallel reality, observing every choice you make, every path you decide to take. What if this version of you, existing in a different timeline, is trying to communicate, sending you signs? The idea of parallel realities might sound like something out of a science fiction movie, but quantum physics reveals that the reality we perceive is just one of infinite possibilities. Every decision you make, every thought that crosses your mind, potentially aligns you with one of these countless realities. In each of them, there is a version of you, some living extraordinary lives, others facing unknown challenges. But all these versions share something in common, a deep and invisible connection with you. But what if you could consciously tune in to these alternative versions of yourself? What might these versions say to you? What wisdom could they share? Understanding the existence of these parallel realities is not just a matter of curiosity. It is a path to self-knowledge and spiritual growth. For when you begin to explore this connection, new ways of perceiving your life, your choices, and your potential unfold. Parallel realities are a fascinating concept that, from a spiritual perspective, suggests that the universe is composed of infinite coexisting dimensions. Each of these dimensions houses different versions of ourselves, living lives that are reflections of the infinite possibilities that our choices, thoughts, and energies can manifest. Spiritually, it is believed that these multiple realities are created through universal consciousness, where each thought and intention generates a new branch in the universe, forming a new reality, where a version of us experiences a different story. In some of these realities, we might be living the life we desire, while in others, we face different challenges, all shaped by the vibrations and choices we emit at different moments of our existence. Quantum physics, on the other hand, offers a complementary view. The concept of quantum superposition suggests that subatomic particles, and by extension reality itself, can exist in multiple states simultaneously. This implies that, on a fundamental level, all possible realities already exist simultaneously. Our consciousness, through its decisions and energies, collapses these possibilities into a single experienced reality. Thus, the existence of multiple versions of ourselves in different realities is not just an esoteric theory, but an idea that resonates both in the spiritual and scientific realms. Each version of ourselves represents a part of our infinite potential, living realities that, although separated by thin frequency barriers, are deeply interconnected by the consciousness that creates them. These versions of us, living in distinct realities, are not disconnected. On the contrary, they may be constantly trying to communicate with us, sending signs and messages that can guide our path and decisions. But how do we recognize these signs? How do we know if a version of ourselves in another reality is trying to communicate with us? Let's explore the most common signs that may indicate this connection. Have you ever had the feeling that something at a particular moment seems strangely familiar, as if you've lived that experience before? Well, this sensation, known as déjà vu, might be much more than just a trick of the mind. In many cases, déjà vu is an indication that you are tuned into a parallel version of yourself. It's as if, for a brief moment, the barriers between realities dissolve, allowing you to glimpse and experience that another version of you has already lived. Beyond this feeling, synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem too well aligned to be merely accidental, can be clear signs that a parallel version is trying to communicate with you. When you repeatedly encounter certain numbers, symbols, or events, It can be an indication that something greater is at work. These synchronicities serve as a reminder that parallel realities are connected in ways that we often do not consciously perceive. It's as if the version of you in another reality is guiding your steps using these coincidences as a means of communication. For example, imagine you're thinking about changing careers, and suddenly, you start noticing the same symbol, a logo, perhaps, or a specific word, in various places, on ads, social media, even in casual conversations. This repetition could be a way for a version of you in a reality where this change has already occurred to try to point you in a direction. It's a call to pay attention to the signs around you and consider what they might be trying to reveal. Another sign of this communication is through dreams. Dreams are portals to our subconscious, but they can also be windows to other realities. Particularly vivid dreams, those that feel real and leave a lasting impression, can be manifestations of experiences lived by parallel versions of yourself. When you dream of a life that seems different, yet strangely familiar, or encounter people you do not know in waking life, you may be accessing memories or experiences from another version of yourself. Lucid dreaming, where you become aware that you're dreaming and can even control the dream, is another powerful sign. During these lucid dreams, you can consciously connect it directly with other realities and explore these alternative versions of yourself. The key here is to pay attention to the details of these dreams, the places, the people, the emotions. They may carry important messages guiding your choices or alerting you to aspects of your life that need attention. For example, if you repeatedly dream of a situation where you're living in a way you desire but haven't yet achieved, this could indicate that this reality already exists in another dimension and is within your reach. Interpreting these dreams requires introspection and often meditation upon waking to capture the essence of what was experienced. Another sign is moments when you feel out of place, as if the reality around you does not quite fit. This phenomenon, often described as a feeling of being out of time or place, can be a sign that you are momentarily tuned into a parallel version of yourself. This disconnection from the present can occur suddenly, as if, for a moment, you do not fully recognize your surroundings or have the impression that you should be somewhere else. These experiences can be disconcerting, but also indicate that realities are overlapping and your consciousness is adjusting to these different frequencies. For example, you might be in a familiar place, but suddenly feel that something is out of place, as if you're experiencing a lapse between realities. This feeling can be a subtle message from a parallel version of you, suggesting reflection on where you are and where you could be if you followed a different path or made a different decision. Sudden changes in behavior, where you start acting differently without a clear explanation, can be signs that a parallel version of you has influenced your current reality. Perhaps you begin adopting new habits, interests, or even changes in your daily routine without fully understanding the origin of these changes. This can be a reflection of a deeper connection with a version of you that has already incorporated these behaviors and is now projecting this energy into your current life. When you notice the signs that there is communication between your parallel versions, the next natural step is to learn how to align your energy so that this connection becomes clearer and more powerful. Vibrational attunement is a practice that can be cultivated daily, allowing us to get closer to these alternative versions and integrate their lessons into our present life. Everything in the universe is energy, and this energy vibrates at different frequencies. Every thought, emotion, and action you take emits a specific vibration that resonates with certain realities. When we talk about parallel realities, we are referring to distinct vibrational states that coexist simultaneously. The version of you that lives a life of abundance and inner peace, for example, vibrates at a higher frequency that attracts these experiences. To align with this version, it's essential to understand that vibrational frequency is not fixed. It can be raised or lowered based on the quality of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Basic techniques to raise your vibration include practices like gratitude, forgiveness, and compassion. When you cultivate these feelings, you raise your frequency, drawing closer to versions of yourself that already live in more harmonious states. By practicing daily gratitude, for instance, you tune your energy to a reality where abundance is already a natural part of your life. This simple but powerful practice can transform the way you experience your current reality, bringing you closer to the version of you that is already living in a state of fullness. But raising your vibration is a continuous process, and consistency is key to maintaining this tuning with your parallel versions. Incorporating daily routines that sustain a high frequency is fundamental. These practices can include meditation, physical exercise, conscious eating, and even the conscious choice of words and thoughts throughout the day. Meditation, for example, not only calms the mind, but also cleanses negative frequencies that may be blocking the connection with your higher versions. Meditation becomes a powerful tool because it allows you to enter altered states of consciousness, where the barriers between different realities become thinner. If you want to consciously communicate with the different versions of yourself, learning to enter meditative states where you can attune to these higher frequencies is essential. Through meditation, you can access the wisdom of your parallel selves, gaining insights into your current life's challenges. The more you practice meditation, the more you align your mind, body, and spirit, bringing them into a state of resonance with the reality where your best self is already living. This connection, in turn, brings clarity and guidance for your life, showing you how to navigate the complexities of this reality